let's talk about drinks that will help balance your hormones. And these you're gonna wanna know. This is one of those videos that is gonna blow your mind and is gonna make you stand up and cheer and be so happy. So in this video, we're going through some drinks, and it also leads to the conversation of even some foods that will help you balance hormones naturally. Are you ready? This is good. I feel like I need a drum roll. Okay, first drink that increases specifically progesterone. And I know when I say this drink, you're gonna be like, no, but I'm gonna show you the science on it so that you can kind of wrap your head around it. But the drink that can help increase progesterone is coffee. Okay, now how do we rectify this with, there has been some information out there that coffee actually destroys hormones. But the studies I want to point out to you right now are especially relate to the increase in progesterone to estrogen ratio. So let's talk about this for a moment. There was a 2009 study found that 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated, the caffeinated part was part of the key. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated coffee a day increased the progesterone to estrogen ratio in premenopausal women. There also was a 2021 meta-analysis that found caffeinated coffee decreased the risk of estrogen receptor-driven breast cancers. So excessive estrogen is one of the more common causes of breast cancer. Now, before I move on to the next drink, let's start with this idea here for a moment. At 35, progesterone starts to go down. Around our 40s, estrogen goes on a wild ride. She's up, she's down. These two hormones, like I mentioned in Fast Like a Girl, is that they work together. They are like twin sisters with massively different personalities. But the deal is that if estrogen goes up, estrogen often can make progesterone go down and vice versa. So they're always kind of keeping each other in check. Anybody who's done bioidentical creams can tell you, like, you go in with estrogen and all of a sudden progesterone goes off and now you've got to use progesterone, which is why they often give you a cream with both. So the interesting thing about coffee is that it increased the estrogen to progesterone ratio in premenopausal women. Now, I don't know the age. They didn't say the age of these women, but it would be interesting that perhaps these women were somewhere around 35 or late 30s where that progesterone was coming down, but estrogen was still high. So when they drank coffee, it balanced that back out. Now, it also, even though it is decreasing the risk of cancer through the receptor sites for estrogen, I want to point out that not all coffees are the same. So just like I've done videos on carbs being different, fats being different, proteins being different, coffee, there is clean coffee and there's dirty coffee. Dirty coffee that you get at your franchised coffee store or coffee place, not good. It's filled with chemicals that actually are endocrine disruptors. But clean, organic, mold-free coffee, that's what this meta-analysis, this 2021 meta-analysis is saying, is that it decreased this risk of estrogen receptor-driven breast cancer. So clean coffee really, really makes a difference. Now, the other part of the coffee equation that I want to point out for women, especially when you're going through menopause or perimenopause, is that you may find as you go through the perimenopausal experience that you become more sensitive to coffee. Like all of a sudden it gives you the jitters, or it gives you a caffeinated high that won't let you sleep at night. One of the interesting things about coffee is that it has a half-life of 6 hours. So the half-life means it takes 6 hours from the time you drink that cup of coffee for half of the coffee with the caffeine to exit and be cleared from your system. So it would take 12 hours for the whole cup, 1 cup, to be cleared. So if you're drinking a cup of coffee at noon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the chances of you being able to put your head on the pillow and go to sleep may be slim, especially if you're a perimenopausal woman who's already struggling to sleep. So when we look at statistics and bold statements like coffee helps increase progesterone, and it helps with this ratio, and it helps with these receptor sites so you minimize your chances of breast cancer, we need to tack on to that. It has to be clean. And your timing matters, because the last thing I want to do is put out a video that has a perimenopausal woman who already can't sleep drinking more coffee because she thinks she's raising progesterone, but now she can't sleep. So there is some nuance there that's really important. Okay, second drink. Now this one, I want you to pay real close attention as I say this. And it's soy milk. Now, like coffee, all soys and soy milks are not made equal. So in my new book, Eat Like a Girl, which is a cookbook, there are some amazing recipes using soy milk. But you will see that I constantly say organic soy. And I really, in Eat Like a Girl, I really wanted to bring back soy because soy is an incredible phytoestrogen. So Chef Leslie, who did the plant-based recipes in my book, she gave us some really great soy recipes. And they have to be organic. So make sure when you go to buy soy milk, they're not filled with a bunch of ingredients that you don't know, and make sure that it is not a soy milk that is filled with pesticides. I can tell you that I don't do soy milk very often, but if I do, every once in a while, I always use the refrigerated kind, or better yet, make your own soy milk so that we make sure they don't have chemicals in them. Now, the interesting thing about soy is that it is so rich in phytoestrogens, and phytoestrogens, they actually will mimic estrogen. This is why I want to bring that back into the conversation, because as we go through perimenopause and menopause, so many of us are missing that estrogen. So they bring back this estrogen. So we don't want to do a ton of it, but we want to do some of it. And soy milk is one way to do it. Okay, have you been watching my videos and you're like, I don't know how to put this stuff all together? You might need my fasting lifestyle free course. I'll teach you exactly how to do it. Just click on the link below. It'll take it to you, and it's absolutely free. My gift to you. Soy milk is especially good for us in perimenopause and menopause and postmenopausal years. But in a 2021 review, they found that women who added soy into their diets showed a significant decrease in menopause symptoms. This is why when I was researching for Eat Like a Girl, I really wanted to create some food resources for my perimenopause and menopausal women that would help bring those symptoms down. A symptom like hot flashes is a sign of very low estrogen. So what about if you're having hot flashes at night? What about a clean glass of warm soy milk before you go to bed? See how that works and if that will stop the night sweats and hot flashes from happening. So that's soy milk. Okay, number 3. This one used to be one of my favorite, and it's good. I've got a few more nuances on this, and that is kombucha. And kombucha is really great for overall hormonal balance because it is helping add in a good bacteria into your gut. Now remember, I've mentioned in both of these books, I have mentioned the estrobolome. I talk about, if you listen to my podcast, I talk about the estrobolome all the time. The estrobolome is a set of bacteria in your gut that are helping break down hormones, specifically estrogen. And so we want to have this very diverse microbiome so we can break these hormones down. In Eat Like a Girl, one of the things that I will show you is that there are 3 principles to eating like a girl that come into play when you put a meal together. And one of those principles is eat so that you can break down a hormone. And you break a hormone down by giving your gut what it wants so that this estrobolome can work really well. Well, the interesting thing about kombucha specifically is that this one, get ready. I bring you some interesting science, and sometimes I'm blown away myself. So a 2020 study showed that even birth control can be broken down and made less effective when you are supporting a healthy microbiome. So when you are adding in these probiotic-rich foods, such as kombucha, that over time, as you repair that microbiome, you might actually find that your birth control pill might need to be modified because it is affecting what that birth control and making it less effective. Interesting. It would be a really interesting discussion to have with your OB who put you on the birth control. Okay, second thing that I want to point out is there was a 2021 review that found that gut imbalances can cause PCOS, endometriosis, irregular periods, increased risk for during pregnancy. Because of this, if we don't have that microbiome to be able to manage estrogen, it could end up being a problem. And so what this 2021 review found that there is a connection between those of you that have PCOS, endometriosis, and irregular periods. You want to bring that balance back. So, kombucha is an incredible probiotic. Now, when I look at the probiotic capabilities of foods, kombucha is light. It's like 5 billion CFUs CFUs is the measurement we use for good probiotics. I like also, if you're not a kombucha fan or you don't want to buy kombucha, I also like raw kefir. Raw kefir and raw kefir milk has trillions of good bacteria in it. And those bacteria will support this great hormonal health. In Eat Like a Girl, we've got a lot of recipes for a lot of probiotic-rich drinks and yogurts and things like that. That was a big cornerstone of this book, a lot of pickling. I really asked both chefs to give me a lot of fermented foods, and they did. So you will find a ton in there if you like to cook from home. I know there are supermarkets like those of you that are blessed to live in Los Angeles, and you can go to Air One. There's an amazing market that has so many fermented drinks, fermented coconut drinks, fermented raw kefir water you can find, and that can be incredible for the gut microbiome in helping you support great hormonal health. So whatever path you take, I hope you walk away from with this video is understanding that if your hormones are off, whether it's because of menopause or PCOS or you're struggling to get pregnant, we can't leave your gut microbiome out of the picture. We need to be able to support your gut microbiome in a healthy way, and these fermented drinks like kombucha and raw kefir will do that. We also need, in many of these cases, to bring estrogen up. So we got to look at these phytoestrogens, and soy milk is there. And then we have to look at the progesterone estrogen balance, and we now know that we can use coffee to be able to do that. So really interesting when you break it down into a food lens. Remember, with Fast Like a Girl, I taught you how we look at fasting, which is the absence of food through a hormonal lens. And Eat Like a Girl, I'm really starting this conversation with you about how do we use food as hormonal medicine. We are living in a time where a lot of you are dipping into the bioidenticals. We're living in a time where the 20 and 30-year-olds don't have a cycle anymore. And we don't need to make this complicated. We can go back to the simplicity of metabolic switching using these two principles and using food as hormonal medicine. That is my message to you today. So let me know if that's helpful. If you've had good results with any of these, if you have a great fermented drink recipe, please put it in. We're in the comments. We are a community here. I read your comments. I love the support you give each other. I love the support you give me. Thank you. Appreciate that. And we're all in this together because when you get healthy, it affects everyone around you. So healthy people tend to be very happy people. So let's keep every one of us healthy because the world needs more happiness, especially in this moment in time. So as always, I hope that helps. If you love this video, I did a great video called Should You Eat Eggs Every Day for Breakfast? So you need them to make things like serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters that give us a good mood balance, make us happy, make us calm, give us joy and satisfaction. The precursors for those neurotransmitters are all inside this little egg.